Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for our virtual Global Open Day today. And hopefully everyone's having a great section until now. And thanks so much for still being around and joining our career and master program webinars for the Bachelor in Management program. And I'm Grace, responsible for recruitment at the Berlin campus for the Bachelor in Management program, and I'm your host today. And together with me, I would also like to welcome our very special guest is Arianias, and one of our current third-year students. And yeah, let's get Arianias introduce herself then.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Aranya. I'm currently in my third year of the bachelor program. So my track was actually Paris, Turin, and now in Berlin. Super nice city. I have absolutely enjoyed my experience at ESCP, and I'm currently also the vice president of JET ESCP, which is one of the societies at ESCP. It's basically a consulting society, so it's very like career oriented. But yeah, I'm happy to help you out today.
Lovely. Thanks so much, Aranias, for introducing yourself, as well as such an important and interesting societies at ESCP, which is the JET. And before we talk further about what kind of organizations or society that could have you perhaps any skills, networks, and experience on working further upon your graduation, let's see what we have here at ESCP. What would be the career opportunities that can be opened after your graduations? So very important what we could prepare you. First of all, the internship is required to conduct a minimum of 20 weeks over the 3 years of internship. And in the first year is optional actually, and from the second and the third year there is mandatory. However, I know it's quite plenty of cases that our students they already started to do their internship during the first years already, and normally the case that they take the time during the summer break in order to do their internship. And of course, sometimes they also do different internship in different countries as well, where you don't have, or not necessarily have to be in the campus that you studying at. Also, very important to keep in mind, not only in different countries, our students can impact their career journey in different industry and roles. More will be revealed in the next slides as well. And depending on the countries where you're doing your internship, as well as depending on the companies that's offering the positions, you can either get paid or maybe not. And for that reason, to keep in mind that we also a part of Erasmus Plus funding, and if that's the case, you like to apply for the Erasmus Plus, feel free to get in touch with our Erasmus office to submit your funding applications. And the last but not least is a very impressive number that we've been offering more than 7,000 internship throughout via our career centers, not only at Berlin, but also at other campuses as well. Apart from the internships, we also offer, or a part of our curriculums is the social project, where you will be the pioneers or you will be the managers of your own project. It can be a societal project that you would like to offer to the societies that you want aim to serve or aims to help. And normally the case is on a voluntary basis to serve humanitarian missions. And you can do it either in year 1 or year 2. And the rest, especially in year 3, again, is the internship is required. And of course, it wouldn't give a variety in your CV or just your experience in general. And now if we talk a little bit more about the internship program, we have the career centers that I mentioned earlier, and our career centers offer a lot of activities for our students, especially networking corporate events, which take place every year on every campus. Here, just to name a few, we have different connections with our alumni. For example, we invite them as a guest speaker, or they can give presentation. How, for example, we have a alumni and as well as a PhD student currently at the Berlin campus who came and gave a presentations on how to be a company consultant, how the day work of a McKinsey & Company consultant looks like. And the kind of event would give you the connections and better ideas of the industry. We also have different workshop and corporate or company visit. We also have different events, especially the career fair that take place every year on every campus. Not only on those events, we also have rather at the individual level support, where you can book an appointment with our career centers to get further advice on which path you would like to embark on. And very important, we have a platform which named European Career Service, where you can find and search for the design internship. And perhaps I would like to invite Aranya to share a little bit of your experience with the career service so far.
Yeah. So it was actually pretty recently that we had our career fairs in Berlin, and it was an amazing experience because there were so many different companies that all of us were super interested in. There was this common assumption that, maybe because it's Berlin based, they would only hire German speaking students. However, we were super surprised to hear that almost all companies were open to hiring even English speaking students. And they were not only, happy to explain exactly what the company does, how they can benefit us, things like that, but they were also open to giving out referrals, which I thought was super helpful. And yeah, overall, it was a great experience. And I would say it's super important for the future. A lot of my friends have actually, in the process of having interviews with those companies themselves, for, internship opportunities or full-term opportunities in the future. And yeah, apart from that, there was also a sustainability career fair, which was also a great experience because it included companies that are more sustainability focused. And I mean, if you're interested in that, it's also super great. For example, a company like Ecosia, which is like, super impressive at this age of time. Yeah, it was super great. And that's about it.
Lovely. Thanks so much, Aranyas, for sharing. And I'm so happy to hear that you could make the most out of those events. And just on a second note, we just had, for example, at the Berlin campus, we had our second impact fair. So not only that we focus on those corporate companies, the big one, ranges in a wide variety of industries. We're also now focusing on impact companies or startups as well, where we can offer our students a lot of other opportunity which could speak more to their desire. And we also offer further support in case you find yourself as an entrepreneur. More will be revealed in the next slide or in the slide after this one. So here to circle back to the company fair that both Aranyas and I just mentioned, there's a couple of companies that they were present at our career fair, and many of them was there in person, especially they come in a group of recruiters or employees. They're all enthusiastic in sharing what it's like working at, for example, PCGs or Accentures. but very important. As you can see, they are rather international company, given the background or the international natures of our Bachelor in Management program. And maybe that also the reason that explains that they super open to non-German speakers, but English speakers as an intern or the future employees at the company. And as you can also see that the company industry is ranged in a wide variety depending on your interest or what out there in the market. However, what I would say that company departments or the business function would be something that you may need to put a little bit more time or effort in acquiring those knowledge, which company functions that you would like to work in. For example, if you want to work in finance, or if you want to work in human resources or digitalization, so on and so forth. Maybe Aranias, you would like to share a little bit about your current or your future internship position, in which function company functions, or what the trajectories has been like for you though?
Yes, sure. So, apart from studying at ESCP, I'm currently also working as a working student at a Berlin-based startup, in the HR department. So, yeah, this year I realized my passion lies in HR. And I mean, ESCP helped me in this way because there were a lot of companies at the career fair, that were super open to hiring HR positions. And yeah, speaking to them really helped. They gave me exactly the details I need. For example, when is the best to apply? When there would be openings, if I should apply before I graduate or after I graduate, things like that. And yeah, that's basically how it helped me.
Super important note. Thanks so much, Aranias. And also, let's not forget that we're also offering majors or elective categories in the last year, where you can start to focus yourself or get yourself specialized in a certain area, and hence your experience in that area as well. Be it finance, sustainable finance, or human resource management or digitalization or entrepreneurship, so on and so forth. So, but for that, for those who still planning to apply for our Bachelor in Management program, you still have a bit of time, so to say, to decide which majors or electives that you want to take in the last year. So here's just a bit of showcase what happened in Berlin campus in the past few days. And also not only those company, but we also have Impact Fund company show ups and present in another separate day, which is the Impact Fair that we named. Oh yeah, so here, just to give you an idea how it looked like on the day, and we have a lot of companies that were there on the day, and we have the career workshop taking place exactly during the day. We also have plenty of workshop which aims to prepare our students in writing their CV, writing their motivation letter, or even doing their interview before actually doing the interview with the company, which I find really helpful for our students. And again, the career fair and the impact fair is rather important for our students to find their orientations or even their passions in which industry or which area that they want to work on and pursue their a longer term career path. And also, as you can see in the very last one, we have Blue Factory here on our campus, actually in all of our campuses, not only in Berlin, who offer different activities or support to startup company. And therefore, thanks to these connections, our students can be connected with the startup companies as well, who appear to be smaller but more innovative and flexible in terms of working style. And not only the career highlights, we also have plenty of student societies at ESCP across all 5 campuses. And as you can see, there's a lot of them out there preparing you for not only the needed, the required skills, expertise, as well as connections with the industry. They are very important society. For example, you can see the jazz here, but have Aranias. You could share a little bit more. What would be other options out there for our students to start to get some hands-on experience thanks to the extracurriculum activities?
Yes. So, I mean, the societies that exist at ESCP have an extremely wide range. Starting from JET, which I'm a part of, which is a consulting society. There's also Dr. Faust, for example, who hosts parties. So there's almost everything that you could, search for. Some of the very interesting ones that I think personally are SPF, for example, where they do philanthropic work and raise funds to donate to charity. And they do that through super interesting events like, bake sales or just the clothes exchange, things like that. There's also the ESCP Art Society, the Music Society. So for artists who are like also, studying business and would still like to keep in touch with their artistic side, it's a super great society who hosts art shows, for example. They also have painting events, things like that. And I think they're like super cool. The Music Society as well, they hold concerts. They perform at other society events as well. Also a really great society. JET, for example, is a bit different compared to the others because we actually are an organization of our own as well, but made of only ESCP students. So it's actually a nonprofit, and we do consulting services for companies all over Europe. So it gives you a bit of like a, real life experience of what the consulting world is really like. And yeah, there's also ESCP Bachelor Society, which is quite a popular one. They host events for the students. And yeah, I would say there's almost everything that you could search for or want.
Thanks for sharing, Aranias. And as is in my past student lives, I would strongly recommend you to attend or join at least one of those societies or organizations because it's such an important part of your student life. And why Arania was talking, I had a chance to pick as our questions. And I guess some of them we can already answer here. And let me have a look. So the first question is which majors exist and in which campuses are they offered? So right, we have different campuses in the last year, 5 campuses actually. So I will try not to go too far into the curriculum during this webinar specifically. However, just to give you an idea, we will have general management, which will be offered by the Berlin campus, also by other campuses as well, but the Berlin will offer rather electives. Where you can choose in the first semester and then either the same one or another one, another kind of elective in the second semester. We will have the Paris campus, which offer apprenticeship track, work and study track, and we also have other 3 campuses offering their very own majors. More you can find on our website. The other questions, are those companies that you cooperate with for events? Yes, we have partnership with those companies, a rather strong connections. We also invite them for our guest speaker, who also comes and visit them for the company visit. For example, we have this company visit every week on a Thursday, for which our students would need to or be required to sign up for because of the limited slots. And the next question is actually for Aranias. What do you want to do after being graduated?
Yes. I mean, thank you for the question. I'm actually one of very unique cases because almost all of my friends at ESCP want to either do consulting or finance. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who wants to get into HR, but that's because I'm a really I love speaking to people and creating, nice work environments for people. Yeah, so I kind of found a way to combine philanthropic work with the business industry together. And yeah, I hope to work in HR in the future. I could also answer the next question if you'd like. So, the student societies, I mean, they're mixed. So some of them are open for the bachelor students, some of them for the masters, but there's also some that include both. For example, the consulting societies are always open to both. The ESCP Bachelor Society, for example, is only for the bachelor students, but almost all exist on all campuses. Yeah.
Great. So let's move on. Right. So as I mentioned earlier, at ESCP, we also have this Blue Factory, which is an startup incubator and accelerators as well, which is in many cases, our ESCP students who eager to become an entrepreneur, they can get in touch with Blue Factory for on-campus support. And as you can see here, we have different projects that involves our students or at our student service. For example, those projects can be counted as one of the required 20 weeks of internship. We're also supporting them in terms of expertise and trainings, from the ideations out to scalings phase of your startup. And also, it would help you to connect with the right student society. For example, we have UX testing experience taking place on the Berlin camp, on our campus, where we invite a student comes and test the MVP products for those startups, which is pretty cool that I find. And of course, they are again in a strong connection with each other's. We have a lot of events where we invite our entrepreneurs or founders from ESCP to meet together, and many do come back to ESCP even like when at a later stage they give talk and trainings for our students. And more information you can actually find on our Blue Factory website. And here's again, depending on which states that you having your entrepreneurial idea, you can get in touch with them and to see in which phase that you need their support. And anyone who has a phone with you right now, and of course, an entrepreneurial idea, feel free to scan the QR code. And here's also a couple of showcase SIG Unicorn startup came out of our Blue Factories. And we also have I have seen the book myself, and very, very thick books showcase on startups that came out of Blue Factory, not only from the Berlin campus, but from all 5 campuses as well. Right, so I believe that we have been spending quite a bit of time talking about career or professional opportunity. Given the fact that we prepare a lot of different support and activities on campus, the placement rate is rather high, which is 98%. We're also proud to share with you that the other half of our students, which is 48% as well, chose to continue with their master degree, which also confirms the trend for our students nowadays that they stay longer at school and earning higher degrees upon the bachelor. And as you can see here, we have also different key facts. For example, our student, many of them continue their master program, not only at ESCP, but also at other established institutes, not only within Europe, but also all over the globe. And they can apply for rather specialized master program since they have done their bachelor in management. They more than eager to learn about specific area or specific expertise that they want to focus on. For example, Ariana's and human resource management. Or we also have a lot who are interested in finance majors as well. And of course, given the fact that you already own quite a bit of working experience, I'm sure it will give you a good preparation for your master program upon graduations. So now is also my very favorite map. Let's have a look where our students or graduates actually for now, our graduates who are doing their master degrees. And again, as you can see, not only career-wise, but also study-wise, our students are eager to go abroad again and immerse themselves into such an international career, international settings. And I think we're slowly approaching the end of the presentation. And however, I would like to ask Aranias, have you thought of either continue with your career passions in HR, or perhaps it's gonna be sometimes the questions popping up in your head? Well, I could do a master actually.
Yeah, so the plan is to actually work a few years, figure out, which country I would like to end up in, and then probably do a master's in that country. And since ESCP is on so many campuses, I mean, the chances of it being ESCP is pretty high. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, as you all can see, the percentage of those who continue with either careers or a master programs almost how much is that? Yeah, it's 96% in total, isn't it? The other 4% they took a gap year often to travel or to give themselves a bit more time to figure out whether they should continue with a master programs or with a career path, so to say. And I don't know if we have any other questions opening up here. Thanks so much, Aranias, for answering the questions regarding the test. And the rest, I think we already answered. We also have a private message. Oh, I think on what answer actually. So, oh, wait a second. I think I just saw a message. Is this a course taught in French? So, we do have classes in French, depending on which year you're going to. For example, in the first year, if you go to Paris, the own class is going to be in English. In the second year, 2 subjects are going to be in French. And in the last year, I would say be prepared. The majority is going to be in French. And also you're supposed to work and study. And many companies in France or in Paris would require a good level of French knowledge. Aranias, would you like to answer the very next questions of how much would you estimate the living cost per year on average aside of tuition?
Okay, so I mean that completely depends on which city you're in, but ESCP also has a breakdown of it on their website. But I would say so far Paris was the most expensive in terms of rent, especially. But other than that, I mean Turin and Berlin are pretty affordable, I would say. Berlin is also pretty expensive in terms of rent. But other than that, living cost wise, it's much better than Paris. Yeah.
And I'm so happy to confirm about the living costs in Berlin. However, take it as a 2 cents of advice. As soon as you know where you're going to start your housing hunt. And the next question is, what is the acceptance rate? So it depends on the campus that you applying for. I can tell from the Berlin side, we have an acceptance rate of between 50 to 60, and I would say that the program is getting more and more selective throughout the year. So I'm also very curious to know the rate for these years after we have conducted all the admissions process. I think the following question was rather the total amount of living costs. I would say this is really depends.
Yeah, it's also on the website for a more better breakdown, but I can't tell you a total amount, but I can tell you like a bit of a breakdown. For example, in Paris, the rent was around 1,000, same as Berlin. But that's different. I mean, if you find a really good accommodation, I mean, that's lucky. Some people even found accommodations for 500, but 1,000 was what most people were paying. And as for living, groceries, things like that, on average, all my friends and I get an average of 400 per month. So yeah, in total, that would be around, 1,000 plus 400. Yeah.
I would say around the same, and also it depends on the persons as well. If you going out and eat out a lot, or if you rather cook at homes, and or if you spend on different kind of cultural activities, or if you prefer to have some more casual gathering with friends, that would be an influencing factors on your spendings as well. And the next question is, how much is the salary on average for internship? Again, this is very much depending on the company and the positions that you're working at. If you compare between, for example, in France is compulsory for the companies to pay. However, that might be also the case that in Germany, that where the companies is not obligated to pay the interns, and also depending on what kind of companies or industries you're working in. For example, you can expect a rather higher pay in finance or consultings in comparisons to the other industries as well. And the internship positions is also varied amongst our students, and therefore best could be talk to the companies and figure that out as our career fair.
I mean, if you want an example, there were some who did internships in Italy, and since it was a mandatory internship, they were almost not paid at all. However, some who do it in France and Berlin, for example, the average was around 16 per hour. So yeah, it also depends on the minimum wage. Some even get paid only minimum wage. So yeah, it completely depends on the company, the country, etc.
And I guess they would be on the questions for us. So yeah, thanks so much everyone for joining our webinar, and I hope you learned bit more about our program, especially on the careers and master program opportunity post-graduations. And a huge, massive, huge thanks to Aranya for joining me today, sharing your insights and for answering the questions as well. And with that, I wish everyone a lovely rest of the afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.